Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am talking to you guys about what I consider to be my essential high-end makeup products. So I kind of did a drugstore starter kit, whatever the heck I called it, I don't know at this point, a couple videos back, and I figured I should do a high-end one as well for people who are looking for more high-end products rather than drugstore. So I will say this, I tried to pick products that I think worked for all skin types and skin colors. That being said, there are still a couple things in here that are more suited to my skin type. So if you're someone who is very, very oily and very, very dry, some of these might not be the best thing for you. But if you're someone like me who's got normal skin, I do tend to swing to the dry side, especially at this time of year, but I'm usually pretty normal for my skin type. Then most of these, if not all of these products, should be fantastic for you. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna say right now, I am sorry if I start hiccuping because all of a sudden I've developed the hiccups and they won't go away. And I want to get this And I want to get this filmed sooner rather than later. So let's hop in. Okay. So let's start off with primers, just because that's kind of how it goes. So for primers, I grabbed you guys two options. The one that is obviously my favorite, and this comes as no shock because it was my #1 primer for 2016. If you watched my Best in Beauty video, which I will link down below, a lot of these products were a part of that video. If you guys didn't check it out, I did talk about this. This is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, which I think is fantastic. Jesus! Which I think is fantastic. For a whole bunch of skin types. If you're really oily or really dry, I don't know if I necessarily recommend it, but it's my personal favorite for a makeup starting kit. If you're wanting something that is a little more custom for your skin, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for, custom. If you're looking for something that you can you're looking for something that's more suitable for your skin type, I would check these guys out. So this is the Lorac Speckle. I have the supercharged one. This is for Fortified Under Makeup Primer. This one that I've got the supercharged is supercharged with soothing botanicals and age-fighting antioxidants. Wear under foundation for perfect makeup or use alone for a fresher complexion. I've never used them on their own. Side note, I've never done that. But I do know that they make color correcting ones, brightening ones, hydrating ones, mattifying ones. So basically, if there's a skin type that you have that you really need help finding a primer with, I would check out the Lorac ones. I feel like they're very underrated. And granted, that one is newer to my collection. I got it in the fall. But every time I've worn it, I just feel like it does a very good job of keeping my moisturizer in check. Like, it doesn't dry out my moisturizer, which then in turn makes my skin dry out. I think it does a good job of hydrating too. That's just my opinion. Again, see which one works for you. I just know that there's definitely a hydrating, a mattifying, and a green one. I don't remember the rest. I think there's an illuminating as well, so. Anywho, moving on to complexion. So first thing I have for foundation, the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. Now, the reason why I went with this foundation for every skin type is, one, there is a huge range to these colors. I have yet to meet someone in my time at Sephora who didn't have a match in the Makeup Forever. It's very difficult to not find one. I will say if you're very, 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 very pale, that the colors I think on Makeup Forever's actual website do go lighter than the ones that we have in store, but I'm not sure about that anymore if that's still the case. But I feel like that foundation gives a very good natural finish, so as long as you're pairing it with whatever primer works for your skin type underneath, that foundation should be working perfectly for your skin. Next, for concealer, I had a hard time doing this because it kind of came down to, for me, hold on. Okay, what the heck is my hair doing? So for me, it came down to two concealers that I recommend that were on the higher end of makeup. So not luxury, but high end. Keep that in mind, guys. So I'm not talking about like Givenchy and all those. No. So this is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer. I love how this feels. I think it gives decent, I would call it medium coverage, but it still keeps your skin hydrated and it does stay on really well if you're setting it. Like, it didn't it doesn't crease on me, it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't oxidize, it doesn't do anything weird under my eye, which is the key thing to find for myself in a concealer. However, the shade range in that only has, I think it's 7 or 8 shades for that. It's like, you know, fair, light, light neutral, medium. You know, it's like one of those, kind of like the Tarte Shape Tape. I do know that they've now extended their color line, but the Smashbox one I think has 8, which is why I also grabbed this one. So if you're someone who needs something fuller coverage and you have a hard time finding a concealer in your shade, the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer would be the one to go with. They did expand their shade range back in the middle of the summer, I believe. So there's now, I think, like 20 shades to it instead of the 10 that there were originally. I have mine in the shade Chantilly, which is light 1. They do have a very good shade range, especially now that they've added the 0.5 shades in between. So if you have a hard time finding concealer, I would say go to Sephora, see what your match is, and try that. But again, it is fuller coverage and it is a thicker formula. So if you don't like the thick formulas, try the Smashbox. If you do, try the NARS. For face setting powder, under eye powder, whatever the heck powder you want to call it, I am picking this guy. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder. This is the translucent one. I think this is fantastic for setting your under eye, for setting your face, for baking, anything that you're wanting to do with the powder. It does really well. I can't get it behind my ear. There we go. I've had my jar, I think, this is my backup jar. Yes, I already have a backup jar because I know I'm gonna need it soon, so I already purchased that. I think it's just a great one for everyone. I do think that she has more colors coming out, so if you're darker skinned and you're more concerned about translucent, really, should I? I have used it on darker skins at work, and I haven't had an issue with it giving a white cast or looking ashy at all. So I'd say you should still be okay. But again, if you want, you can always go to her website and check out and see if she's got other shades that'll work for darker skins too. Moving on to the eyes. Favorite eyeshadow primer. And now I know you guys are thinking, oh, she's going to say the Urban Decay Primer Potion Enigma, which is my favorite. However, if I'm telling people to build a starter kit, this is the one I go with. This is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer. Now, this guy is fantastic for all types. So if you're someone with oily eyelids, dry eyelids, normal eyelids, older eyelids, whatever the heck it may be, this one works really well with all of them. The Urban Decay ones, you have to keep switching around to figure out which one works for you, which is why I had a hard time picking one. But this was my original one this is my first high-end primer that I ever bought myself, and I love how it feels. I do have an issue of when I don't use it in a while, it does settle and get a little gross and oily, so it does have to be shaken every once in a while, but I still think it's fantastic. And the best part is it doesn't just work with the Too Faced shadows, it works really, really well with all shadow types. I can say that having tried a whole bunch of different eyeshadows and using this primer, it's fantastic. Moving on to eyeshadow palettes. Too Faced Chocolate Bar. I had a very hard time trying to figure out which palette I wanted to pick. I almost went with the Tarte's Pro palette. Any of the Too Faced ones I feel like are just your best bet. They're all very beautiful colors, very wearable. Lots of skin types can pull this off beautifully. It smells like chocolate, beautiful pigmentation, beautiful good range of colors. If these don't appeal to you, check out either the Semi-Sweet, the Bonbons, or the Sweet Peach palette. All 3 of those are fantastic as well. And also Too Faced does make really nice palettes where they come with 9 eyeshadows in them rather than 15, 16 that come in the big ones. As for individual high-end shadows, these right here. So ignore these 3 here. These are not Makeup Forever ones, but these ones are the Makeup Forever pans. These are beautiful. They are pigmented. They are creamy. I love the Makeup Forever eyeshadows. The plus side is they are gigantic. So I'm going to hold this like this because those shadows are bothering me. These guys are gigantic. I mean, for comparison, here's a pan full of Makeup Geek shadows compared to those. I mean, these are about twice the size. These are twice the size. Granted, they are a little bit more expensive. I think they're $22 each. But with how big these are, if you think about it, they're about twice the size of the Makeup Geek ones. And I feel like the pigmentation is just fantastic on every single shade. There is no bad shade that I have found yet. Even this bright yellow down here, like, it is gorgeous. So let me go ahead, swatch him. So, I mean, I'm not usually a yellow person, and on me, they're not quite so amazing. but it's just beautiful. Let me grab, yeah, we'll go with purple. I mean, these are just crazy pigmented. And they do just, you know, like blend out really nicely on your skin, on your hands, face, whatever the heck. I lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry. I think the Makeup for Everyone's are definitely worth checking out. You can also build your trios, and when you buy 3, it's basically like you're buying 2, getting 1 free. So they do discount the price the more you buy. So that's something to keep in mind if you're like, I don't want just one $22. We'll get 3. They're gigantic, so you know. Moving back to the face, my favorite product for, oh wait, I forgot something. My favorite eyeliner is this guy. I don't think I could pick any other eyeliner. The Bare Minerals Lash Domination Liner came very, very close to beating this one out, and so did the Too Faced Sketch Markers. However, this is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. I don't have the ink liner right now. I'd say either the ink or the tattoo liner are fantastic. I just prefer the tattoo liner because rather than being a felt tip to it, it's got a paintbrush tip, so it's going to bend against your skin. I just feel like it gives beautiful, beautiful lines, very thin, precise lines to your skin, and I just feel like that's amazing and what everyone needs in a liner. Moving on to the rest of the face, my favorite contour kit, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this is a contour kit that gives you 4 shades. I will admit the only one in here that I'm kind of disappointed with is the Pop of Light, which is just, it's too shimmery for my liking. Just because I like to use light cocoa to set underneath my eye. But they do also have a tan to deep set for the contour set. So if you are darker skinned, I would definitely check it out. If you're fair skinned, this medium cocoa shade is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Moving on to bronzer. So the one I had to pick was the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. The reason why I picked this is because the formula is very beautiful, very smooth, silky, and buttery, and it does build up beautifully. And there is a huge range of shades. They've got both matte and shimmers. I just love how the light catches these when I wear them. I just think that they're beautiful. Everyone's got a really good shade range in this, so I would say check them out, see how you like them. For blush, this was very hard for me to do because I do have my favorites, but then when I was trying to find things that were very suitable to all skin tones, I was like, man, nope, that doesn't work. I ended up going with these guys. These are the Lorac Buildable Blushes. This one's a matte one in the shade Tinge, which is obviously more fair skin friendly, but they do have a lot of shades that will be beautiful on deeper skin tone. I think the shade, is it called Raisin? I don't remember what it's called, but there's a beautiful, like, Bordeaux kind of color blush. I think it'd be beautiful on darker skin. I just, oh, God. But these are very beautiful, very pigmented, very easy to build. So I think you get a really good amount of color out of them. And I do like the packaging. The packaging is very sleek, compact, and beautiful. Highlighters. Okay, this is, again, really hard to do. So I just picked my favorite formula, and then I just double checked that it had enough shades for people to use. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. So here's the thing. You could go with either the ambient powders or the strobe light powders. I just couldn't find my strobe light powder, so I pulled this guy out. I think these are beautiful, so if you've baked under your eye, I really love using these to dust away the under eye baking, just because it gives that beautiful luminous sheen to your under eyes. I think they're great as highlights on their own. And, I mean, they're also good as bronzers if you're fair skinned and you grab, like, the Radiant Bronze or Golden Bronze. I don't know what they're called. It is beautiful for a bronzer. And vice versa, if you're someone who is darker skinned and you want a beautiful, beautiful highlight, I think these are gorgeous. So yeah, I think everyone should check these guys out, and the strobe lighting powders. I know that there's not as many shades in the strobe light powder, but there are quite a few in the ambient powders. Moving on to brows, you know the first thing I'm going to mention in a brow kit that I think you need, I think everyone needs, is this guy. This is the Bravo Conditioning Primer by Benefit. This stuff is my lifeline. It just makes my brow pencils, brow products stay on so nicely. Like, I do notice a difference in how long my brows stay on now compared to how they did before. But the nice thing about this is it's designed to also help your lashes. It's full of all these nutrients and vitamins in it that help grow, I believe, to help grow your eyebrows and keep them nice and lush and full and keep them from falling out and getting damaged from putting all the brow products in them. But yeah, I love that guy. I mean, I went through the little mini one. Now I've got a big one. I already have a backup of the big one. That's how much I love that. I really do believe that it makes a difference. And as for a brow pencil, you know I had to do it. This is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I wear mine in the shade Taupe. It is not my brow pencil today, though. But I do think Anastasia has the best shade range. So here's the thing. Everyone's really loving the Benefit ones now. And I think they're very nice if you have a match in them. The thing is that there's only 6 shades in all of their brow products, whereas Anastasia has 10. So it's a little bit easier to find a wider shade range, especially if you're someone who's got red hair, more caramelly, brassy kind of hair color. You know, like people who don't necessarily have just straight up brown, blonde, and black. There's a lot more options in the Anastasia one. You could pick any of her products. I did almost pick her dip brow, but then I went, if I were a beginner with brows, I would recommend sticking with pencils rather than pomades and powders, just because pencils are a little bit easier to control. And last but not least, lips. So to be honest, I don't really have a high-end lip liner that I'm in love with. I tend to really only use drugstore ones, so I skipped lip liner. But I do have lipstick, gloss, and liquid lipstick for you. So for lipsticks, the Urban Decay Vice lipsticks. So this one's in the shade Zealot. These are gorgeous, gorgeous pigmentation. There's a huge variety. There's 100 lipsticks in this line, and there's different finishes to them. So there's matte, comfort matte, oh crap, metallized. I keep calling them metallicized at work, but they're metallized according to the bottom of this guy. Sheer, cream, there's like 6 different, shut up computer. There's like 6 different finishes to the lipsticks, which is what I think makes them so convenient for everyone. And there's definitely a shade for everyone because they've got everything from white to black and everything in between. As for glosses, these are the Lorac Alter Ego lip glosses. This one I have is in the shade Goddess. They make a really nice shade range of lip glosses. They're very pigmented, very colorful, and they suit a whole range of skin tones. There is a good range for both light and dark skin and everything in between. So I think these are nice. They don't feel sticky. They do have decent wear time, but again, they're a lip gloss, so they are going to fade off throughout the day. I don't have a lip gloss in my collection that lasts me all freaking day. If someone does, I mean, please tell me down below. But it comes pretty close. And last but not least, for liquid lipsticks, I'm going to go with the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. I just feel like they have the widest shade range of all the liquid lipsticks on the market. I almost picked the Smashbox ones just because I prefer the feel of the Smashbox ones. But then I thought to myself, I prefer the shade range found in the Anastasia ones myself. The Smashbox ones are good, especially if you're looking for more weird colors. Like they've got a gray, I mean, you know, they've just got a couple of different things. They've got a weird burnt orange, which I love actually. It's called Out Loud. But yeah, so that's kind of how I felt about liquid lipsticks. I would say Anastasia or Smashbox. I just leaned more to Anastasia for myself. I did not include a setting spray because right now the only setting spray I love I am out of. My favorite one though would be the Boscia White Charcoal Makeup Setting Spray, Mattifying Makeup Setting Spray, I think is its full title. I just think that it is fantastic for especially people, I mean, if you're really, really dry, maybe not. I would go with saying hydrating. But setting sprays are such a hard thing to put in these videos just because everyone always lists the Urban Decay All-Nighter, and I don't want to list that because if you are oily skinned or very dry skin, the alcohol in that can hurt your skin. It can burn sometimes, it cannot work. Your skin can react to the ingredients in it. So I just kind of avoid the setting sprays, but I will just throw in that my personal favorite is the Boscia one, the White Charcoal Makeup Mattifying Setting Spray, which to be fair, I'm not oily and I still love that spray. It's amazing. I think it just does a really good job giving your skin that demi-matte finish to it so that you don't look super fudge. So that way you don't look super flat. You've still got some luminous qualities to it. But yeah, that is everything. So that was my high-end makeup starter kit. I will link everything down below if you guys are curious about any of the products or anything like that, as always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and hit the subscribe button to see more videos from me. I upload 3 times a week. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.